Okay guys, let's do another beat. I don't know what this beat's called. I don't know what this beat's called. But I like it. I like it a lot. Put an empty region on the drum track. Cycle it around it. Let's get the beat together. We're going to start with the hi-hats. Get the brush tool. Quantize set to 16th. Brush in a row of closed hats. Like that. Then select them all, make them shorter, which, as I keep saying, just means that I see a nice gap between them. It doesn't make them play back shorter. Velocity them all up to about 100, 101, and then I'm going to get the velocity tool, hold down shift and select every other hat. Lower those way on down to like 5 or 6, something really low like that. Then I'm going to knock out every fourth hat in the quarter beat, like I did with the previous beat we looked at. Like that, just knock those out, and then just again like in the previous beat, the third hi-hat in each quarter beat, I'm going to push it up to the pedal like that. Select all those and lower them down to the late 70s, so a bit lower in velocity like that, 70 something. Okay, right, let's get the kicks and the snare in now. Get the velocity up for that, about 100. Okay, so with this beat, all the action is in this half of the bar. You come in with a double eighth kick onto the snare on the drop on the 2, and then end with a double eighth push on the kick. Kick, kick, snare, kick, kick. And the last kick comes on beat 3, the first beat of the second half of the bar, and that pushes into this half of the bar, which is empty apart from that drop with the snare on the 4. Like that. And then the magic, which is, believe it or not, that tom there, just on the last 16th. Give it some velocity, nice and strong. And this last 16th tom pushes into the kick, kick, snare, kick, kick as it cycles around. And it gives this great bounce into the 2 kicks here. Ba-dum, bo, ba, bo, bo, bam, ba-dum, bo, ba, bo, bo, like that. Okay, that's it. But it all comes together with the bass line. Okay, so let's get the bass line in. Put an empty region on the bass track. Okay, now the bass is a bit like the peanut vendor. The bass works with the kick and the snare. And it is like the peanut vendor in some ways. So let's go with A. So the bass line, it comes in and it exactly mirrors the kicks and the snare, and all the bass line action is in the first half of the bar. So we get, slow that velocity a bit, so we get, I'm going to do a major type of bass line here. Like that. And then one last bass note on the last 16th with the tom, which bounces with the tom back into the bass line again. And all the bass line is in this first half of the bar. And it works just like with the peanut vendor we looked at before. It works with the kicks and the snares. In fact, we take that bass note out, we've got the peanut vendor, apart from the kick on the first beat. You know? Dun, 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 dun. It's a bit like that, right? But we've got this first note. Okay, now these notes need to be longer, these ones, because these need to really spill into each other. So we get like like that. But the last note is clipped really short to make this clip. So the bass line clips off and leaves a nice big gap for the chap in the middle of that quarter beat on the guitar. And then bam, the drop of the snare on the 4 there. Bam, bam, like that. Okay. And that's what it's about. It's about that bounce off the 16th into the dum 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 dum. Now I'm doing this major thing. You could do a minor thing like dum 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 or whatever, a minor bass line. I'm giving it a major feel here. But these notes spill into each other, and the last note there is clipped, and you can hear how that rhythmically works. It and it cuts off there. You see, really with this, the bass line begins here, with this little 16th. If you sing the bass line, ba-dum boom 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 boom, ba-dum boom 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 boom, it begins here. But we can't begin the bass line here with this note at the beginning of the bar, because if we did, the whole bass line would be pushed back a 16th, and then the drop wouldn't happen on the 2 and 4. So the only way to do it is to bounce off this last 16 into the next bar, and you get it then. And I'll say it's got this wonderful bounce, this beat, yeah, with this nice big gap here for the drop. Let's get the guitar in. Put an empty region on the guitar track. Now I'll just say this for all these videos in case someone's dropping in from YouTube. This is part of a playlist. We're going through a whole bunch of different reggae beats here, and for each one that I do, I'm just putting in a simple rhythm guitar. When we've gone through a whole load of beats, I'll then show you like putting in keyboard and what have you, and we'll look at other stuff. But we just put a rhythm guitar in with each beat we look at. So A, and we're doing the chaps, chap, 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 and they fall in the middle of each quarter beat. So A, go with the major for this, like that, and then we copy that into the middle of the other quarter beats in the bar, which is here, here, and here, like that, and then we just velocity them up to about 104, 5, something like that, so they're nice and strong, and shorten them so they really got a good chap, you know, nice and tight. Okay, these two need to be changed. Push these up to the beat. Minor, I'm going to make it, and although I made it minor, it doesn't sound like minor and dark. We're pushing up a whole tone here from the A to the B, and it's got a nice, even with this being a minor chord, B minor here, it doesn't sound minor and dark. And there it is. Now this beat works at any tempo. It works at this slow rootsy tempo like this. If we put the tempo up to like 80, it works faster. You could put it up to 82, 84, it still works, you know, anywhere between those tempos. And it's a lovely beat. It's just lovely, this one. Let's copy it out across 4 bars, the whole thing. As I say, it's a versatile beat. This it's you do it in a major key like this with this nice major vibe, then there's the whole bass line there. Then you know it's like it's got a Lovers vibe, old school Lovers. You know, it just needs, you know, it just needs like Frankie Paul or someone like that on it. You know, I can't do Frankie Paul, but you get the vibe. Like I'm paraphrasing some lyrics from another song here, but it just needs that whole, you know, like ragamuffin and the chicken stuffing. She's my ragamuffin girl. Yeah, you know, it just needs all that nice up the dancehall vibe, you know. But it can be an up tempo, an up vibe, rootsy thing in this major key like this, you know, this major vibe. Yeah, I mean, it's not the Mighty Diamonds, but it could be the Mighty Diamonds from round the time of the right time and past the Coochie and that, you know, like it was a cool and breezy Sunday afternoon, the Coochie on the left hand side, you know, it could have that vibe as well. So, you know, even in a major key like with this major bass line with this up major vibe, it still can be rootsy and all the rest of it. You can make it darker with a minor bass line, etc. But the whole thing is about, everything's in the first half of the bar, bolt, bolt, back, bolt, bolt, and then bounce off that last 16th back in, which gives it that wonderful bounce, you know. Nice up the dance floor, yeah, yeah. Nice it up, nice up the dance floor, yeah. You know what I mean? It's got a really nice vibe, that. Okay. So let's finish it off with a fill. It's the last bar. The drums. And in this, I don't think a half bar fill at the end isn't going to work, just in the last half. So I'm going to do a fill across the whole bar. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. We'll do a classic fill here. I'm going to snare a flam off that centre snare to the louder rim shot type snare. with that tight flam at the beginning, and then the kicks, select all the kicks and move them up a 16th, so we get black ball, bam on the snare. Now, I could keep that as a snare, black ball, ba, it still works, but I'm going to drop it down to the kick, then just copy the flam across to the middle of this quarter beat here, like that, look, and then repeat the same thing with the kick drum, black ball, boom, like that. So we got black ball, boom, black ball, boom, and then bam onto the last snare on the drop. Yeah, and we'll have a crash above that snare there, like that. And then we'll just take all these hats out, but we'll leave that tom in to bounce into the next bar at the end of the fill. Okay, now just one thing, these flams, we're flamming onto the second note, so the second note really needs to be on the line. So this needs to be brought forward, so we flam onto that second note, which is right in the middle of that quarter beat. And the same thing with the first flam here, we're flamming onto that second note, so that note wants to be on the first beat of the bar exactly there, which will push the previous note into the previous bar. So let's just bring in the previous bar, like that. And I'm just going to push that forward, so we flam onto that note, second note, which is right on the first beat of the bar with the fill in, like that. And let's just hear that, just the end of that. Now the flam sounds tight and the timing sounds right. But look, the drummer's not going to do this last 16th tom at the end of this bar. There just isn't enough room for him to do that tom lick and then get onto the flam. It just sounds like like that, you know, like budla onto the flam, yeah. Budla like that. It's just the drummer wouldn't do that, so we won't have the tom there, and we'll come off a slice there into the fill. Like that. Let's hear the whole thing, the two bars like that. Okay, well now I've taken the 16th tom out of this third bar leading into the fill in the fourth bar, so let's change the bass line to go with that. We don't want that tom, that note with the tom anymore, because the tom's missing. Take that out, and to make a variation in this third bar leading into the fill, I'm actually put a note on the 4. No other bar's got that, but we're going to go boom, 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 and down to that note, off into the fill. Okay, now because we're missing that last 16th bass note and tom bouncing into this last bar with the fill, I'm actually going to lose the first note of the bass line over the fill, and then do a thing like that to end it. Like that. We just set that an octave higher to make sure the pitch is right for that. Yep, that's right. So there's the whole thing. And I say it's got, you know, and then you can have it in a minor key and make it darker, but it works a variety of tempos. But it's got a lovely bounce to it, this beat, and it just needs that whole, you know, nice up the dance floor. Oh yeah, nice it up, nice we up it, nice up the dance hall. You know, or whatever vibe you want. But it's, you know, it just needs that whole. It just needs, you know, someone like Frankie Ball, one of them guys from back in the day, like. But it could be rootsy too, as I've said, you know. So there it is. I call it a bounce beat. But all the action is in this half for the bass and the kick and snare, and then the big gap with the drop on the 4. Yep, so there you go. There's another beat for you, and I'll see you for the next one.